real presence.
There used to be a substation there.
And I keep hearing from the sheriff that he's underfunded and he doesn't have enough guys to really cover. And I think that for a long time you'll see that not a whole lot comes past 75. It stays on the other side of the county. The difference between being what we call a representative of the people, the way our government was first founded and meant to be, versus what we have now. If you go back to the very beginning of this country, when we had our House of Representatives, there was somebody in the community back home that everybody thought a lot of. It wasn't the wealthiest guy in the community. He was the guy that ran the general store. Everybody knew him. They knew his character was solid. They knew he was trustworthy. And they sent him to Washington to represent them. And he was a representation of the people. And you know what that guy did? He didn't go there for a $172,000 salary. He went there and gave up his business and suffered financially, but he did it for his people and his community. He did it because he wanted to represent the community, not for any other reason. What do we have now? We have politicians who take money from special interests, big bucks, pay back those special interests along the way, and then 4 years later when they run for re-election, they get all those special interests back in that they've done all these favors for. They collect all this money and they do what we call lipstick on a pig. This is a political term. It's where you take somebody who's ignored the people during their 4 years of serving, okay, taking care of their cronies, and then they brush them all up and make them look really good, and through media and flyers, and they hit it out there, and they bamboozle the people into thinking that this guy actually cares and is a good guy, and we vote him back in. And that's why I think we often hear people going, the best thing we can do is clear the whole slate. Because there's so little faith in the people that have been sitting in office, because they've been told this. I've been told this many times. I've had actually the state committee woman come up to me and say, you'll never win an election because you're not mean enough and you're not willing to get down in the dirt. Well, I believe you can take a higher ground. I think what people really want, they want somebody who's going to come along and say, hey, the door's open. I'm your representative. It's not me telling everybody how to live their life. You're not going to elect me so that I can go and implement all of my ideas, because my job is to represent you. It's not to be authoritarian. It's to be your representative. That's the way it was meant to be. And that's why they would only serve for a couple of months out of the House, and they would send them home. You know why? Because if they stayed in Washington, how would they know what the people really wanted? So you've got to stay connected with the people. If you don't stay connected with the people, how do you represent them? You don't. You end up being your own entity. And I tell you, I see a lot of arrogance in a lot of elected officials who seem to think that if you don't agree with me, then I don't want to talk to you. Because my idea is the best idea, and we're going forward with it. That's what those people elected me, to go forward like a bull in a china shop and push my ideas through. I'm not interested in hearing anybody. The election's over. Well, once the election's over, that's when you actually should turn up your hearing aid and start hearing the people even more. I mean, if election is about telling you, this is who I am, I hope you like it enough to vote for it.